What's up, everybody? We're actually starting on time for once. Hopefully our audio sounds good, and we'll be checking in with you guys just to make sure.
Am I too far away from the mic?
I think you're good, man. Go ahead, one more time.
Am I too far away from the mic?
I think you're good. All right, we'll ride the controls a little bit. Pick up some old audio skills from back in the day.
Nice.
We are here on our normal 6 o'clock Sunday nights. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to give it a few minutes to see if any of our regulars stop in, and we'll go from there, man. I'm excited to do this tonight, man. I'm a little tired. We had a long weekend, and all right, cool. So we got our moderator, Nikki.
Hi, Nick.
And we got Sarah. She actually made it on time. She said today she wasn't going to make it on time, and she apologized. I said, dude, no need to apologize. You've been ride or die since day one.
All about it.
You get a free pass being late, not
Yes.
coming. That's fine. We appreciate it. And, all right, so before we get rolling any further, Nick and Sarah, are we loud enough? Does it sound good? I just want to double check before we get going because I don't want to jump into it and then have to adjust. Last week was like a little bit light. Like when I listened to it over again, it seemed like it was kind of quiet. So I just want to make sure we're good, and we'll get rolling. Sounds fantastic. Okay, cool. So we have, it sounds good until I turn away from the microphone. So I got to make sure I'm kind of.
What about here? What about here?
So these microphones are weird because they're SM58s, so you got to kind of almost talk into them instead of past them. I noticed that I did that last week as too. So we'll make a point of being a little bit more professional. So I appreciate it. Thank you for letting us know. And we have some interesting topics tonight.
I have to say how much fun having the microphone is here.
Justin's good. Am I good?
I really just want to take the microphone out and sing.
Well, don't do that yet. Wait till the end, so this way, if anybody is listening, we don't scare them away, man. I don't want to, scare people right off the bat.
Yeah, I was thinking about singing "Let's Stay Together" by Al Green. What do you think, little Justin? That's a great idea.
Jesus Christ, dude. So we got some stuff to talk about tonight, man. We're gonna jump right into it. Man, I spent yesterday working on the house, getting sunburned, being super, super tired, pulled my back. And then we decided to go to the Ren Fair, which is where Justin has his fancy dainty jewelry in today.
My beard beads, man.
And
you know how long it took me to grow my beard this long?
You wanted to give a shout out to
the Raven Clan.
Yeah.
To the Raven Clan.
It was cool, man. It's not really my deal. It was okay. I mean, would I go again? Maybe. I don't know.
I am. And I'm going to dress up.
Yeah, he wants to dress up as barbarians, and I'm like, dude. I think if we're going to do that, man, we should do it on here.
Right.
For the views, man. We need the views. We need viewers.
So you know what really I liked? What I really liked about it is I liked how people, regardless of what it is, man, tattooing, anime, magic cards, Dungeons and Dragons, Ren fairs, motorcycles, like whatever it is, people really can get into what they're into. Collecting fucking stamps or coins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they get like these people at the Ren fair were just really, some of them were like all
in, dude.
All in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was interesting. Plus we saw this hawk. Like
the red-tailed hawk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. That was cool.
Wild.
That was cool. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I think there's some stuff that, man, made me go, all right, that's cool. I mean.
Maybe not my regular thing.
Like, the people that were walking around like, good day, my lady. I'm like, bro. Come on, man. You know what it reminded me of? I can't remember the name of the movie, man, where it was the comedian dudes. One of them was the dude from the American Pie movies, Stifler, where he had to go to like it was like community service or whatever, and the one kid that they had to like that he was like a big brother to was all into it, man, and they went to the medieval thing, and it showed the dudes like eating at the Denny's across the street, dude. And the one guy was like the king, and everybody was kissing his ass. It's the dude from the Chinese dude from the Hangover movies that showed his wang.
Yeah. No idea. Just no idea.
The little Chinese dude from
No,
Hangover.
I know who you mean.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
But I don't
but
know
he
about
was
the
the
movie.
king, dude. And he's wearing his Burger King hat, and he's sitting in Denny's, and everybody's like kissing his ass while he's like, can I cut your steak, sir?
Eating Denny's.
Yeah, and I'm just like, bro, whatever, man. But yo, hey man, if that's what you're into, I am not gonna bash you, dude. You found something that's productive, that you're not harming anybody else.
Right, and it's just it's cool how people
It's just not my thing.
like can just be so into something.
Yeah,
It's sort of uplifting.
that somebody finds something that they're like,
That
man, this
passionate
is my
about.
passion.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is my passion, right?
Right.
I mean, I started this channel because I'm passionate about tattoos and the history of it. You are a tattoo artist and you're passionate about
Yeah,
it.
I'm more like a mutant, but yeah.
Well,
So like I think a lot of it is that I feel like and we were talking about this before, like so much of just daily life just seems to be designed to just grind the fucking I'm sorry,
we're trying.
to just grind the spirit right out of you, right? Like to just
Right.
like
So,
got to do the laundry, got to go to the supermarket, got to pay ridiculous prices for gas and food.
right.
Got to make sure you're at work to make the money to buy the widgets to like so much of it just seems like it's designed to just grind you into the ground.
And then I said to Justin that I saw a meme that was like, so you mean we're supposed to graduate high school, go to college, get married, have kids, go to work for 35 years, retire, and die? And to be honest with you, I think that, man, it turns into this wash, rinse, repeat cycle that the common person can't get out of. So for them to find a niche or something that they get off on, that's like their thing, to get away out of that cycle is
Absolutely.
amazing. And I think that, man, there's some miserable people out there that don't have that they need to find something that they can be passionate about to get out of that cycle. And then Justin and I actually took that conversation even a step further, where we talked about, man, the guys that originally got into this industry were not it's a different mentality than it is now, where those guys back then were like, it was about just being passionate about tattoos, not necessarily making a ton of money, not being a celebrity. It was about like something they were passionate about that they could pay bills, do their thing. And, I gave an example of Brooklyn Black. He was like, I didn't even want to be a tattoo artist, dude. He was getting ready to go to jail or whatever and had to pay off fines. And he was like, man, he realized that if he went and did some tattoos and made some money, that he could actually, pay off the fines and not go to jail. So it turned into a job for him. Where there's today is people set out because they think everybody's going to be like Ink Masters and everybody's going to be this famous person and we're going to be a famous tattoo artist and everybody's going to know my name and we're going to be all over TV and da-da-da-da. And that's not really what it was about back then.
I mean, a lot of us were like,
Man, I got to jump off the soapbox already.
a lot of us were like poor kids, man. A lot of us were poor kids with no prospects. And in the cycle thing, you forgot leave college with crippling debt prior to buying a house for crippling debt.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm already a part of that crew,
Yeah.
so we're good.
But yeah. So I was looking at working in a factory, working in a warehouse. Maybe the best I could hope for was like a union job, where I busted my balls until my body was broken.
Right.
And instead, I was like, and a lot of us were just sort of antisocial. We wanted to do what we wanted to do, and tattooing was a viable outlet for that.
So the irony of that, though, too, is now some of these old heads that are talking are, trying to give the younger generation some advice about, like, man, making sure you're managing your money and making sure that you're doing a 401k and you're taking care of your body, because there's a lot of old guys that are around right now that didn't do any of that and they're wishing that they did. So you know, man, I think that there's always the occasions when you're younger that you don't want to listen to some old person because you know everything and blah blah blah. And and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that's generally like how our mentality is when we're younger. And I mean, I can think of a million different things that, you know, people gave me advice on when I was younger, and I was like, yeah, I got this, and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have listened.
And a big part of it is that, you know, you think about even like, you think about before the Ink Master shows, because that was really, really a huge game changer, even more so than Miami Ink. Like in our area, there were 3 tattoo shops,
Right.
4. If you went out far, like if you went out, we're right north of Philadelphia, right north of the Northeast. If you went in a big enough area, there were 5 or 6 tattoo shops. So these guys, even though there were less people getting tattooed, could make a good living, right? Not as good as like the guys before, who when there was, you know, 2 shops,
Right.
but now, I mean, I think in the same area where there were 5, now there's 20, 25, and I mean it affects the bottom line.
Right. Hey, what's up, Tom? Thanks for stopping in tonight, man.
Hey,
I know
Tom.
a couple
Cheers.
hours ahead over there in the UK, so we appreciate you stopping in tonight. Much appreciated. So let's jump into this conversation real quick because I don't want people thinking we clickbaited them by putting on there that we were going to talk about numbing cream and
Numbing cream.
let me just pull up this because I got some stuff that I wanted to bring up that goes along with this conversation. And let me jump over to here and let me fix this first. And
Can I sing now while you're
I mean, I'm ready, but if you want to sing, go ahead.
Oh, all right, you're ready.
Okay. So, do numbing creams affect tattoo healing processes? And I started to read this article, and these people were adamant that it does not impact the tattoo itself. It doesn't pull out any color. It did say that it would, you know, affect the skin. You're already like making skin angry a little bit before the tattoo artist even gets in there, but it won't do anything to the healing process. It won't impact that. It would possibly make it slipperier for the tattoo artist to grab like skin spots, right?
It definitely changes the process because there's a film.
Right.
Even after you wipe away the numbing cream, there's a film, and if you're working from a stencil, it does compromise the stencil. The stencil becomes much easier to wipe off no matter what kind of stencil stuff you're putting on there.
So it goes through the, you know, understanding the tattoo healing process, the impacts of the creams. And the only reason we're bringing this up is there's been a pretty decent amount of tattoo artists lately that are posting on their Instagrams and their pages where they're saying, hey, we're not going to, if you're using numbing cream, we're not going to tattoo you. So don't even bother. You know, there was a shop, I'm not going to bring up the shop because I don't want them to be brought into the conversation or whatever, but they were adamant that they were like, look, dude, flat out just saying we're going to refuse to do tattoos for you if you're using it. And I was kind of like, okay, man, I know that there's always been this like weird, you know, like there's artists that are for it and there's artists that are against it. And then there's artists that are like, I don't care either way. So what changed all of a sudden that there's people that are adamant about not tattooing somebody that's using numbing cream? And I thought, why? So I started to do a little digging around. I probably could have made an episode out of this, but I thought it would be better for us as a group, as our little TIR family, to have a discussion about it. So I want you guys to chime in as well, anybody that's out there listening. And I'm going to ask the first question. Have you ever used numbing cream to get a tattoo?
Yes.
Okay. And anybody that's out there watching right now, please, you know, in chat, let us know. We'll read your answers, and we'll discuss our own personal experiences with it.
So I tattooed my own kneecaps. I've never used numbing cream to be tattooed by someone else. But when I tattooed my own kneecaps, I tattooed a star on one, and a spider web on the other to avoid being distracted by the brutal kneecap pain. I use numbing cream.
Well, especially if you're doing it yourself.
Yeah, had I not been doing it, I've never used numbing cream while being tattooed by someone else ever.
Okay. So, just going back to this article real quick, they go all out in this article talking about the impacts of it. They talk about the skin sensitivity and irritation, it being a moisture barrier where it makes it slipperier, blah, blah, blah. Also, the part about the stencil not sticking properly because you already have this film on there, right? And then they go into delayed healing, and they're adamant here where it says your numbing cream, there won't even be a situation where your numbing cream rejects ink altogether. They're adamant about that because apparently that's a thing where people are like, oh, it'll pull the ink out and blah, blah, blah.
So an odd thing is that I always heard that about Neosporin. And I've used Neosporin to heal my tattoos at different times and never had that experience. But that was like a general, when people would come in, they'd be like, but I know not to use Neosporin. And I don't know how that started or...
It was something about like petroleum products that would draw the ink out.
But they're all petroleum products.
Right.
A&D, Neosporin, bacitracin, and AAA.
It says it will not interfere with the skin's natural healing mechanisms. Factors such as inadequate moisturization, excessive rubbing or scratching a tattooed area, and exposure to irritants can slow down the healing process. But that's normal shit. That has nothing to do with numbing cream.
So I think the reason that tattooers are refusing to tattoo anybody with numbing cream is because we're really vulnerable, no matter how good the tattoo is, and no matter how precautious a tattoo artist, when you leave here, the tattoo is absolutely in your hands.
Right.
Right? However you take care of it is how you take care of it. And if it gets a massive infection because you don't know how to keep your shit clean, like, we're vulnerable. Not that we're vulnerable to that, but potentially. So using numbing cream adds a whole extra factor.
Okay.
You know, and then on top of that, like, I think a lot of it has to do with Amazon, and a lot of it has to do...
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, with a lack of, like...
Yeah. Oversight.
Not oversight as much as, like, probably people that were using numbing cream in the beginning were people that had some basic tattooing of what some basic understanding of what tattooing is and how it affects the skin. And so they were getting their numbing cream from more reputable, more tattoo-centric sources.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Whereas now...
You can go on Amazon and grab it.
Yeah. And does Amazon really give a shit?
No.
I mean, they sell people broken tattoo equipment.
So, we're going to read a couple of comments and then we'll get into it. You just kind of talked about your experience. I'll talk about mine. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to swig a bottle of Pepsi in the middle of that, but so first comment that I thought we should mention is our moderator, Nikki, said, Justin, those beards look badass.
Thank you.
Sarah said, one of my artists who is working on my sleeve uses a numbing spray halfway through. She will stop for lunch and in that time spray it and plastic wrap it. Nikki C, no numbing cream, although I understand there are areas where I think I'd need it. Sarah also said, I never requested it, just part of her process. It's not Bactine. Tom, never used it, but I have seen that some of them don't have, or don't even have ingredients listed anywhere. I don't know what it is like in America, but in the UK, stuff like that is required by law. Sarah then said, but I've not used an actual cream, never prior to getting tattooed, and have never asked for it. Tom then said, so I would be hesitant to put something in an open wound if the company cannot be bothered to list the ingredients. All very good, valid points
That sounds
from
like
from
common
all of you.
sense.
So my experience is I actually did use it one time. I wanted to try it. It was a 6-hour session, and it worked probably for like the first hour, maybe. But let me tell you what, when that wore off, I wished I would have never used it because it was way worse.
Yep.
It seemed like the pain just kicked in tenfold.
Right.
Now, Tom brings up a valid point about not listing the ingredients. And I think that this is where some of this controversy is coming into play, and we're going to get into that.
So to your point about the pain, our ability to withstand pain is a chemical reaction in our body.
Right, like you release endorphins.
You release endorphins to deal with pain and duress. So basically what happens is there's no endorphin release while the tattoo is numb. So there's no natural buildup, the process where people are like, well, you get used to it. It hurts, but you get used to it. You're not getting used to it. And you go from 0
to instant.
To, oh my God, I've been getting tattooed for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, when I put it on my knee, I mean, I limped. I limped for like a day afterward.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wanted to try it just to see what it was like, and it was not necessarily the best experience for me. I think that there's going to be times where I think, man, certain areas or whatever, I think, people are going to need to do it, and that's fine. I'm not against it by any means. I'm against people going and doing the whole getting put to sleep and getting tattooed. Absolutely, I'm against that. But the whole numbing cream, dude, like if you're, man, if you're a chick and you need to put it on your ribs, or dude, you need to put it on your ribs or whatever, man, like I don't think anybody's going to laugh at you.
More than likely, it's going to be a dude.
Yeah, more than likely, because chicks can deal with pain that men cannot even freaking fathom.
Much better than men do.
Yeah, well, they're made to, spit a bowling ball out of their hoo-ha. And I tried to say that as nice as possible, but...
So, there's the... like, with this, in the Samoan culture, right? When you get tattooed, and you get extensively tattooed with, like, the Salopeia, originally it was to make sure that you could withstand the tattooing process. It was like a test of manhood.
Right.
But it also, like, if you died of an infection, you were considered a weakling,
Yeah.
But that speaks to, like, there was a time where if you were heavily tattooed, I knew that you had gone through a very, very significant amount of pain and withstood it. And so there was a mutual respect. Like, it was, not that anybody's like Johnny Badass or whatever, but yeah.
It was just an understanding.
If someone was rocking sleeves and a full back piece and their chest done, like, yeah. There was a mark of strength.
So Sarah said, I've heard the FDA has made regulations against some of types of numbing creams. We're going to get into that in a minute here, Sarah. And then she said, if you're trying to finish a session when you're ready to tap out, then yes, use a numbing cream so you don't walk out with an unfinished tattoo. So the only problem with that, though, Sarah, is in order for numbing creams to work properly, from my understanding, that it has to be applied, wrapped, and then it has to be, you have to wait, X amount of time for it to activate. It's the choking out of the oxygen is what activates the chemical or whatever.
Heat.
Excuse me. So we're going to get into that, though, in a second as well, because that's part of the articles that I found, and it was pretty crazy, man. Like I honestly thought wasn't sure what I was going to walk into when I started looking it up. And then I was like, holy balls, dude. Like 2 chicks died. And then I started going like, okay, well, why? It's lidocaine. Lidocaine shouldn't kill a person. So let me get these squared up here.
Incidentally, Sarah, like once the outline's finished on a tattoo, I'll Yeah. I'm a 2-hour session guy now. I'm 53. Once it gets to a certain point, I'm just like, I'm older. I'll pay the extra $200 to have the extra session at this point. Like my days of like, I mean, the longest I ever sat, I sat for 9 hours once because I was getting a really good, it was.
Yeah. Mine was 7 hours I sat.
But now, like, yeah, 2.5 hours. I'm like, yep, outline's done. Gonna come back.
All right, so we're going to get into this real quick. And
Do you agree,
boom.
little Justin?
So right here is one of the first articles that I found where they talked about the FDA was avoiding certain types of, topical pain relief and the potential for the, risks. And in this article, is it this one or the other one? So in this one, though, they talk about the product contains such high concentrations of lidocaine that it may lead to serious injuries such as irregular heartbeat, seizures, breathing difficulties. And then this other article, I'm going to come back to this one, but this other article, they talked about a 22-year-old woman and a 25-year-old woman died after putting skin numbing creams on their legs after laser hair removal. Following the hair removal, these women wrapped their legs in plastic wrap. We just talked about that. As they were instructed to increase the cream's numbing effect. Both women had seizures, fell into a coma, and subsequently died from the toxic effects of the anesthetic drugs. Now, the FDA is saying that you shouldn't have more than 4% lidocaine, benzocaine. I mean, they listed a couple different ones in here. Cocaine.
No cocaine, kids. No cocaine ever.
And some of these have like 40%, like 10% lidocaine. So some of these were listed out. They actually listed a couple companies that had them. And the irony of this is, you can see here.
Now, was it like a situation like with soda, where they list sugar under 5 different names to make it look like it's not full of sugar? Like, are they listing like benzocaine, lidocaine?
Well, so they're
like basically all the same substance under different names to make it seem safer.
So they're talking about. Apparently, there's different kinds of, like, I don't want to talk about the company because I don't want to bust their. The one company actually puts in like 3 different types of cane in there. So whether it's the benzo, lido, and then there's another one that I can't remember, but like the one opens up the pores, the other one makes the numb, the lidocaine, the other one extends it. You know what I mean? But all 3 of them add up to like this crazy amount
of cane.
Of cane. And the FDA is saying that there shouldn't be any more than 4% on their skin. So if you're putting a whole tube of that on your leg and then wrapping it, you're definitely getting more than 4%. They're also talking about the fact that you just discussed it. Amazon, right? There's companies out there. Now, there's one that's listed here. I know for a fact there's knockoffs of it. So it's coming from China. It's not, legit.
China.
And all they do is they flip the letters around. So you think you're buying this particular brand, and then you don't really notice it because you're like, oh, well, it's just this one right here. And then you get it and you realize that the letters are flipped backwards and you're like, holy shit, I just bought a knockoff. Well, who knows what they put in there?
People are buying numbing cream off of Temu. Temu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I just got a text from Temu.
Well, Temu's good for some things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
You know, I didn't know that if you buy one goddamn thing from them and they bombard you for the next like month on a continual basis of, hey, we're giving you free this, free that. Order from us, order from us. But yeah, so I'm actually getting texts, and I know RC just texted me. RC, what's up, man?
Go, brother.
It says the skin is definitely different to work with, and I do not find the length of numb worth the effort. Honestly, it looks too dangerous to work with. Seeing this report, and that's what I'm getting at, RC. So there's been some shops lately that have made a point of posting on, you know, on their Instagrams and Facebook pages that, hey, if you're using it, we will not tattoo you. You can reschedule or don't even bother. And it just blew my mind that I even saw that, because I was like, you know, well, what the hell's going on? But now that I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that people are really, really getting sick, and there's good reasons why, especially if you're buying knockoff stuff.
And even with that refusal by shops, there's nothing to stop a client from taking that plastic off 5 minutes before they walk through the door.
Right.
And if you're not, if you're not really paying attention.
Right, but they also said, in the one that I saw, they were like, if there's any evidence
of,
we're gonna decline. So, you know, man, look, shops have to cover their ass. They don't want to, you know, somebody dropping dead in their chair, or, you know, getting a tattoo, and then, you know, a couple hours later something happens to them, and then they're like, hey, well, what did this person just do? And they go, oh, well, they were, they just got a tattoo a couple hours ago. And then I don't know, you know, man, do they come after the shop or whatever? But I don't, you know, I could see them not wanting to risk it. Now, RC, I mean, dude's been tattooing for 35, 40 years or whatever. And if he's going to tell you that, look, it's not worth it, I got to kind of have to take his word for it, man. And, you know, like I said, dude, I don't think I have an opinion one way or the other. I think if you're going to do it, just make sure you're buying legit stuff. Don't buy knockoff Chinese shit. And, you know, make sure your tattoo artist is okay with it. I think that's the main parts here that are the most important, man, is, you know. Sarah said, I work at a store that sells adult products. And we used to sell numbing gel for a different very purpose. Recently,
purpose of penetration.
Recently,
very similar.
You can't say that on here, man. Recently, they all got recalled.
Why?
And we had to throw them out. I don't know. It's just one of them magic words that'll get us banned. So we're not going to say that word again. Thank you.
We can't do the Howard Stern.
Sorry,
and say it.
Sorry, YouTube.
We can't do the Howard Stern and say it like.
Who knows, dude?
Remember when they were like the whole thing? The cock woke us up in the morning.
Dude, I've been seeing stuff lately where people are saying that they got their demonetized and basically shut down for like nothing. I don't know if YouTube's like on this rant all of a sudden where they're just trying to crack down and.
I mean, I follow a guy from England on Instagram who works in metal, like pewter. He makes pins and belt buckles and stuff. He'd take some of his stuff down.
Yeah.
Hey,
while we got everybody listening right now and we sucked you into the conversation, please smash that like button for us. Maybe it'll push it out to some more people, and we'll get some more people to watch the live stream and join our little family and have a conversation. Be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
The next thing that I wanted to talk about, which kind of goes into same conversation, I tried to make it so we could segue into this. Let's talk about being prepared for your tattoo appointment and having courtesy for your tattoo artist. And we're going to give some examples, and you can expand on it, because I actually did a video about this where I thought it was important enough to talk about. One of the things that I saw that seemed to rub some tattoo artists the wrong way, and I was actually a little bit surprised to hear this, but then they explained their situation. don't show up too early for your tattoo appointment. Being like 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early is perfect. This way, you know, your tattoo artist knows you're on time and you're not dicking around and you're going to be late and blah, blah, blah. But they were like, you know, don't show up an hour early because that might be my time to actually sit down and eat a sandwich between customers or go to the bathroom or run an errand or whatever.
I mean, there used to be a sign in shops that said, if you don't be long, don't be long, which was basically the same thing. Like, if you're not here doing business, like, you know.
Yeah, this is my place of work. This isn't a hangout.
Right.
Which is kind of ironic because I hang out here a lot. But
I mean, this is a hangout, but, you know.
Yeah.
Not everybody. I used to get tattooed by a guy in Philly, you know, excellent tattooer, but I mean, if I wasn't getting tattooed, you stop in. If I was in Philadelphia, say hello, 5 minutes,
right
out the door, you know, because he was always painting or working, or especially if he was working, just stop in and be like, yo, and split.
So the next thing that I had on my list was, you know, be prepared. Like, and what I mean by being prepared is, you know, have you and your tattoo artist, you know, done all your alterations to your, you know, you've approved your tattoo or whatever. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's going to be, you know, circumstances where you might have to change something or whatever, but like, be prepared to get tattooed, man. Like, hey, dude, I got to go run and get, you know, smokes or whatever. I'll be right back. When the guy's sitting there ready to go, you're set up, you got all your stuff set up, you're ready to rock and roll. And then the person's all like, you know, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Or they're like, oh, I want to change this now, and I want to change this now. And then you got to redraw it and get, I mean, I know you're always going to, I guess, have situations like that, but try to be your best to be prepared.
Or at least have solid, you know, like the time for consulting and the time for doing all that, there's a time for that. But when a client is like, yeah, that's the image I want, I agree that that's the good image, then, you know, then we're ready to do some tattooing. And of course, there's always going to be leeway one way or the other. But there are people that feel like because they're paying you money to tattoo them, they have a right to, like, waste your time.
Mm.
You know, I had a guy come in. He had a panther on his arm, and he wanted a photorealistic Grecian statue, like a statue with, like the face of Zeus. And you know, I keep telling him what you're going to end up with is a face of Zeus with a panther face shining through it, because soft gray wash does not cover a black panther.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't cover Black Panther. And then I, you know, showed him different things that we could do with like a Spartan warrior, where I could cover it in the armor or in different parts of the helmet or the plume of the hair. Because when I cover up tattoos, I like to cover them up. I don't like
any bleed.
Yeah. And I had asked him, like, you know, so send me some images in of what you want. Here's my email. So no, I didn't get any emails from him. He stopped in. He's like, well, I have stuff on my phone. I'm like, but I didn't ask to look at images on your phone.
Right. I asked you to email me
so that I could have time to draw a proper cover up and not just do it on the fly. And you know, in the end, I just gave him his deposit back. I was like, you know, probably what's best for the two of us is, you know, you go somewhere else.
Okay. So the next thing that I had on my list, and actually RC just texted me the same thing, so is, and I mentioned this on the video as well, man, is make sure you eat. Make sure you are, you know, you have some food in your system and you don't have like this crazy low blood sugar crash. And to be honest with you, I think you really should make sure that you are bringing some snacks with you, some stuff to drink with you. And you know what would be even cooler is if you actually called your tattoo artist and said, yo, dude, I'm stopping at X, Y, and Z. Can I pick you up anything?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nah, man, like a little common courtesy goes a long way, dude.
Yeah.
And, you know, I try to do that because to me, I look at it like this is a start of a relationship where if you're going to be tattooing me and you're going to do more than one tattoo on me, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other. So I'm going to go out of my way to be like, hey, man, you know, I'm prepared. Do you need anything? You know, can I pick you up anything?
You know, and that falls under. I would rather be tattooed by my friends. I would rather be tattooed by people that I have stuff in common with, that I'm friendly with, than by by some prick who can do the most immaculate work ever. You know, but that's just where I'm as a tattooer now.
So Sarah said, hygiene. Don't go and get tattooed without having a shower. I think really that should be a set thing for no matter what you're doing. Because you know what, man? Nobody wants to be standing next to you at the grocery store and it smells like a goddamn Italian hoagie. Or fucking baked beans, dude.
Yeah,
because
food
you got
truck
dirty ass
at a Turkish open air market.
Yeah, dude, that's horrible, dude. You know, man.
So I can't tell you how many times I'm about to put the foot tattoo on, right?
Oh, dude.
I'm about to put the foot tattoo. You just spray the shit out of it with. Why are you using so much rubbing alcohol, Justin? No reason.
Because you smell like cheese.
You know, and then you put the rubbing alcohol on, you pull the paper towel away, and there's like
dirt
on the paper
Ew.
towel. Nasty.
Dude, I remember back in the day, like when I was going to school, man, and you'd have to jump on the train. Like I used to try to take the train into school when I could, and it would never fail, man. Like there'd be somebody on there that was like, you were like, bro, did you really leave your house today without deodorant on or a shower? Like, you don't, like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just conscious of it. Like the minute I'm like, oh man, shower time.
See, I'm feeling weird now because I'm wearing sandals since it's after work.
Nah, dude.
You
I would tell
me-
you. I
you're
would
trying
tell
to-
you if you smelled like ass, dude.
Are the dogs
Nah,
bothering
dude.
you?
Not at all. I would tell you flat out. Yo, dude, you need to go wash your ass.
Dude, and my
You
feet,
stink.
man, even in the best of times, my feet are like, they're just horror show.
Dude.
They don't smell horror show, but they're just, they look.
So Nikki, the moderator, just said, I agree with Sarah. Showers, shave if needed, fresh deodorant, and take water with a candy bar. There you go, man. Like, you got to have them snacks with you, dude, because every once in a while, man, your stuff just starts dipping. You got to get a little sugar in you, man. Get something to drink. And
Absolutely.
kick you back in the game. Because I don't care who you are, dude. You're especially in a long session, man. You'll have them spikes where it's bad. I stood up one time at it was like I think it was either a 5 or 6 hour session, man. And the guy was like, yo, dude, I got to take a smoke and take a piss. You know, man, we'll take a 5-minute break or whatever. And I stood up, dude. And I was like, I thought I was going down, dude.
Rice Krispie treats. I have a buddy of mine swears by Rice Krispie treats.
You know what I like? I like bringing like Slim Jims and something sweet.
I really like to bring
Slim Jims and Swedish Fish, dude.
I like to bring the grill in.
Right? Cook
Like-
up some chops.
Yeah, right next
Lather
to
with some
while-
barbecue sauce.
While I'm getting tattooed, like
Yeah.
right next
Hold
to the
on, man. I
chair.
got to flip them.
How you like your steak, buddy?
Medium
you
rare,
like-
medium rare, dude.
How you like your steak?
I like Pittsburgh Brown.
I went to a movie the other day. I tried to bring my hibachi in there with me. You know, they just
Yeah,
weren't having
that's
it.
frowned upon. Frowned upon in this establishment, sir. There is no smoking in here. Max, what's up, man? Max Bray in the house, and he said, "Is there any tattoo that you have always wanted to do but haven't done yet?"
Yes.
RC, you can answer this if you want to text me. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else in here right now that's a tattoo artist? No, because usually Jesse and some other people are in here. But RC, man, if you're out there, let us know. Tattoo you always wanted to do that you haven't done yet. Go ahead, dude.
So there is a Joe Lieber piece from a sign that he had out at his shop. It's a traditional pinup girl has fairy wings, riding the back of a dragon. And I think we actually saw it being done when we were at Philadelphia. I commented on it,
Okay.
and I went to Philly separately.
Yeah, you did, you bastard. It's all right, man.
Man,
It's all right.
it's a rough crowd. Yeah, it's just I first ran into it in one of the Sailor Jerry books.
What in particular about that tattoo makes you go, that's, I just want to do it?
It just
Just hit you the right way?
Lieber's work is.
Okay.
I mean, if you like traditional tattoo work, like genuinely old timey tattoo work, I mean, Joe Lieber and Owen Jensen are
Right on.
they're where it's at.
Like I said, RC, if you're out there, go ahead and let me know. Nikki, the moderator, said she's in. I guess she's interested in that tattoo. Drag's on. What's up, Drag? He said, hey, today I'm late, but I made it to the end. There you go, man. Better late than never, dude. We appreciate you.
Nice.
Man, like, there's a bunch of tattoos I want to get out there that I just don't either have the money or the real estate for.
Like, what's the one that you want?
Really?
Really?
Like, I mean, if it, so, you're gonna laugh, dude. Anyway, I'm gonna say it. I don't care. You can laugh all you want. It's an Alex Gray piece.
From what band?
He's not in the band. He just happens to do work for the band.
For what? From
Tool. He does a lot of work for the band Tool.
See, musically, I'll cop to it. Musically, I'm an idiot. I like Black Flag and the Ramones and early Rolling Stones. Like, I just have no. And Buck, on the other hand, is very musically sophisticated, so he loves Tool.
Hold on, keep talking because I want to see if I can find it. Because it'd just be easier for me to show you.
All right, yeah. I think that if I could get I don't know, if I could get any tattoo, I don't know anymore. Okay. I think I have to get my lower back tattooed soon.
So I'll bring it up so everybody can see it as well.
Wow, that's incredible.
So I want to get this on my back. But I'm a fat ass, and it would be pointless to get because I'm not going to unleash this on anybody. So, but all honesty, man, like that would be, and we're talking a lot of money, man, because that's a lot of real estate, dude, on my back, and it's a lot of detail. But that's the tattoo. Like, so if you figure where this sun is and where this moon is, that would be on the points of the shoulders, and then all going down. I think that would be. That's one of those tattoos, man, that I think that's like a.
I think the tattoo that I would like to get is like a one life to live tattoo, or death is certain, life is not.
Oh,
like an old style.
You said one life to live. I was like, are you talking soap operas, man?
No, like yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, so there's some old school tattoos that I always thought that I wanted to get, man. Like the Sailor Jerry Eagle. Dude, yeah. But I think that might be something that I accomplish within the next couple years because I'm gonna do that whole like traditional leg sleeve. So, those are some things that I'll probably wind up getting. In all honesty, I feel like at this point in my life, I've gotten pretty much the tattoos that I wanted to get right now. Other than that back piece, I mean that would be a lot for me, man. That's a lot. I don't know how many hours that would take, dude. There's a lot of detail in that.
A funny thing about getting tattooed is that when I was getting tattooed when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to make sure to leave space for when I get older because I know my interests are going to change. And then one day I was like, oops, I guess it's time to be getting tattooed now.
So the other thing is, for me, is I have a lot of bigger pieces, too. I just was never really a fan of that like patchwork look. I was always more like I wanted bigger pieces to kind of fill in areas. So with me doing that, I think that I wound up, I took up more real estate. So I don't have the options of maybe getting like a bunch of little bangers and stuff like that. So
for a while, like, so I'm covered in what's called 1-point designs. Like that's what the Japanese would have called like an American traditional sleeve.
Okay.
Just 1 point on the skin. Whereas what they would do traditionally is they would tattoo an area.
Right.
More so than, doing a tattoo, you would go in there and you would get a portion of your body tattooed.
Right. So like kind of
Like what you did.
right, like what I did. Where
Yes.
it's more of just bigger pieces.
Yeah.
And then I'm filling in the bigger spots with bigger pieces. I mean, I think that the tattoo that Loud did is probably the smallest tattoo that I have.
So my left arm I did first. It probably has 20 small pieces put together by stars and dots. And my right arm I got when I was a little more mature as a tattooer. That has 5.
Right.
Just the big areas.
And it's nothing that I like, I don't frown upon that because I think that there's plenty of people that have that patchwork look that looks freaking awesome. It just was something that I just was not my thing when I started out. Tom said the Taylor Jerry Rats Get Fat While
Rats Get
Brave Men
Fat.
Die is on
Yeah.
my list. There you go, man. Going old
Yeah.
school right there, dude. And then Drag said, I would love to do a Dolly art piece. I will do in the whole winter when that comes. 6 months away. I'm excited to do this piece.
Well, like the elephants with the stilt legs. That's Dali, right? The melting clocks. Is that Dali?
Yeah, that's a Dolly piece. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that there's. Sarah said I have a gap on the front of my leg that is pretty prime location. I've been saving it, and now it's all that's really left. I can't decide what to do with it.
It's all that's really left. Is Sarah, are you bodysuited?
Yeah, so we'll see what she says, but it sounds like it, man.
Yeah, that's cheers, man.
So she's been putting her time in getting some ink, dude. I mean, like, I've seen a bunch of old heads that the first person that comes to mind, really. I was actually we were just talking about this was Eddie's wife, Penny. And
Funk.
she's got that patchwork done, but dude, she's got like the list of all lists, man, of like the known tattoo artists from back in the day, man. It's pretty incredible the amount of tattoos that she's got from different people. RC's got like Jack Rudy stuff, and he's got a couple people that were pretty well known people. I think that's kind of cool though, man. Like I almost got a small tattoo from Oliver Peck. When I was in Milwaukee for the 115th anniversary, he was there set up at a hotel doing tattoos, and I literally just walked in like the dude in front of me was the last one for the day, and I was so pissed because I was like, oh man, that would have rocked. It was, it wouldn't have been nothing crazy. Like he doesn't do anything like mind blowing, but just to be like, hey man, I got an Oliver Peck tattoo.
I got a Moskowitz tattoo.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah. And then I got tattooed by Tuttle years ago too.
right on.
Yeah.
So,
A funny story about Penny. So, when Eddie and Penny ran United Tattoo Supply, they ran it out of their house. And what you used to have to do is you would knock on the door because they had a vicious poodle, like a vicious poodle, right? And so they'd be like, "All right, let me put the poodle away," and then you go in and you buy your tattoo equipment or your supplies or whatever. One time I went in because I wasn't paying attention without having them put the poodle away. That little bastard savaged my ankles. I mean, I was wearing engineer boots, so it was all right. But like, had I not been wearing boots, man, that fucking poodle was a little bastard, man.
dude, people don't realize poodles can be nasty, man. Nasty dogs, dude. I don't like the way they look anyway, man. That whole like weird hairdo thing. Ugh. That's just me though. Sarah said, no, I'm not bodysuited. A leg sleeve work in progress, and that's all that's left for big space. Just gap fillers for that. The leg has been a main focus for 4 years. So now I'm overthinking the final piece. I mean, if you're running out of space like that, man, I think it's time to be choosy. Be a little bit picky about what you're going to do. You'll know. You'll know right away as soon as you see that one that you're like, oh, man, that fits. It looks awesome. Let's do this.
Two of my favorite tattoos are on my leg. I have two Sailor Jerry pieces. One says "Die You Bastard." It's a dagger through a skull, and the other one is a dagger through a heart that says "Death Before Suck Ass."
Good old Sailor Jerry, dude. He's got some, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Not only does he have amazing old school traditional, but the sayings on some of them are just.
Do you know Jerry couldn't draw hands?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like on almost all his pinups. The hands are hidden.
The hands are a little hidden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've met a couple tattoo artists that were like, dude, I can't do hands. They can do the rest of the pinup, looks freaking amazing, but they're like, when I get to the hands, they look wonky.
Yeah.
They look like doll hands.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I think that I see some of the tattoos that are coming out these days, and I'm just blown away at the talent on the artistry that some of these tattoos are. It's just mind blowing, man. Especially like man, you get people like perfect example, man, Rich down at RC Shop. That dude does some amazing black and gray portraits of like I mean I've seen him do like horror stuff and stuff like that, man. His black and gray portraits are freaking awesome. I tell you what, man, he's got to be one of the most humble guys you've ever met, though, man. Like, Rich Kimmel is not only a fantastic artist, but he's not one of those dudes that's breaking his own arm to pat himself on the back. You know what I mean? Like, he's super humble, and, you got to appreciate that, dude. But, like, that's what I'm saying, though, man. Some of these, like, even, like, the guys that are doing the Cholo stuff and whatnot, amazing work. We saw stuff that we were just like, holy crap, dude, that looks like it's like, stuff out of a Bible that just, whole different level of
artistry.
Yeah, man. That I'm sure that, Sailor Jerry or any of them old heads were around, they'd be floored. I'm sure it's surpassed the expectations.
That was Jerry's whole thing when he was alive. Like, if you didn't have any kind of artistic ability, like he made no bones about disrespecting some artists. If he thought that they were just like hacks, just producing and producing and producing. Because really, like, he was forward thinking. I mean, he did incorporate Japanese themes and Japanese styles.
Well, it wasn't it Shane that was saying about like, a lot of the older guys were like, what are you giving to this? Not taken away from it, but
Yes.
What are you giving to this thing? And I think that that's the mentality, right? Like, if you're giving back to the industry with your artistry and being, creative and forward thinking, that's what they're talking about. Not just leeching off of it and taking everything you can away from it. Something to be said about that, man. But I think that's in any industry, dude. I think that there's going to be people like that in the music business. I think there's going to be people like that that are professional, chefs.
I mean, there's definitely a trend now that, there's definitely a trend now where people work in shops. They glean everything they can from that shop, and they move on to the next, and move on to the next, and move on to the next. And they're not really interested in any kind of loyalty to whatever shop they're working at. They're interested in getting as much information as possible to bring it to the next place where they can get more information. And I don't really like that. I don't really like that at all. Because, they don't really come in and tell you that. Like, hey, I'm just here to rob you of as much as I can of the information you're going to give me, and then I'm going to bounce as soon as I feel like you've shown me everything you can show me. And, RC will back me up on this. I mean, there was a time when that kind of behavior was prevented.
Hmm.
It wasn't discouraged. It was prevented.
But weren't there some guys though out there back in the day that would, work for somebody for a while and then they would like go, you know what, man, I really want to work, like I want to learn Japanese, so I'm gonna go work with, this person or that person.
Who left their phone on during the live stream? What kind of animal leaves their phone on?
You,
Yes. I apologize, everybody.
but
There's a see, that's what I'm talking about. There's a difference between going into a situation with a tattoo artist and being like, hey man, I really like this thing that you do, and I would like to work with you to become exposed to it and to, like, if you want to work with me, and then I might continue my journey to learn another style, versus a guy that comes in to just smash and grab as much as he can before he bounces.
there's a difference.
There is a difference.
Right.
Because I've seen guys in our area, like, you can almost, with different tattoo shops, you can see the line of resentment almost. Like, this shop taught this guy who opened up this shop, who taught this guy who opened up this shop, and it just goes on and on and on and on, which is something that even, like, new tattooers aren't necessarily thinking of. The apprentice is going to supplant you sooner or later.
Hmm.
Like, even with the guy that I learned from, his son was a tattooer in this area for many years, and everybody his son was in competition with were people that learned to tattoo in his father's shop, if that makes sense. So we all learned to tattoo from the guy, and then we were all basically the guy's son's competition.
So RC is still listening. And he said, when I started, there was 3 shops in Philly. Violence prevented the 4th. Philadelphia Eddie and his son Billy had a falling out, and that was the end of the dynasty days. And we have some... Welcome to Morrisville, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Morrisville.
Yeah, I mean, but RC's still on, so he's got a lineage of people that have come out of his shop that have now moved on and opened up their own shops, but they put their time in, they paid their dues, and they did their thing, and and then he blessed them to open up a new
with respect,
right?
Yeah.
With respect. That's
with
it.
Respect.
That's what it comes down to, man. I don't know, man. I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. I don't know what we can do to get more people to come in and join us and partake in these conversations. I know we're promoting on Instagram, we're promoting on Facebook, we're promoting on the community tab on our page. Maybe spread the word, man. Word of mouth with you guys out there, you faithful followers that come on every week. Tell your friends about us, man. Let them know that we got a cool show we listen to on Sunday nights, or we got these assholes that we listen to on Sunday nights. I hate them, but we watch anyway. Whatever.
We were talking earlier. I'm glad with the way that we format the show. We do invite people to come in and talk with us. We're not sitting here pontificating like we're the end all be all of tattoo knowledge.
Right.
Like, I don't feel like we're talking at anybody.
There's too many people out there already doing that.
There's enough of that, yeah.
And we don't want to be that. We're here to, tell good stories, talk about some cool topics, put some thought behind the topics. We're not just throwing it out there and riffing on it. We do a little bit of research on our topics.
And when Buck says we do a little bit of research, he's speaking in the royal we, because I am far too lazy.
Yeah, but whatever. But
Buck does the research.
We
guys.
don't really have to. We don't. I see the people that are out there, and I'm not trying to bash anybody, but I see those people out there that are doing that, and that first of all, I'm not a tattoo artist, so I can't do that anyway. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, this, you need to do proper shading and da-da-da. I don't, man, I know what I know, but I'm not like an artist. So that would be pointless for me to even try to have those conversations on here. My thought when we wanted to do this was, man, bring people in to what our typical conversations are about. Like when we're just sitting around shooting the shit, or we're like, man, we ride somewhere, we hop off the bike and we're walking around and we're talking about shit. What do we talk about? And this is really the kind of stuff we talk about, man. We laugh a little bit more because, we laugh about inappropriate shit that we can't talk about on YouTube. But for the most part, it's really, this is it, man. I mean, it's
and I mean, I'm a 25 plus year guy, but even that, like, I'm not really at a place where I can present myself as some kind of authority about tattooing when there's guys out there 40 plus years. Like, if I'm going to listen to like nuts and bolts in and out stories of tattooing,
those are the guys you're going to listen to.
Those are the guys I'm going to listen to.
Not somebody that's been tattooing 5-10 years and they're acting like they're the masters of the universe and pontificating on every little nook and cranny about the tattoo industry.
About their theories about tattooing.
Yeah, man, I don't.
Not saying that they don't have any useful knowledge.
No, but that's not what it's about, man. This is about us hanging out at the tattoo shop, shooting the shit, inviting you guys into our world, and you guys having conversations with us, man. We rely on you with your feedback just as much as you rely on us being here and talking. And I'm sure this is RC again, so let me see what he says. Well, there you go, man. He said, Justin has made it in his eyes, so preach away.
Thank you.
There you go, man. You're getting props from a local legend, dude.
Thank you.
Like, check you out.
Yeah.
Look at you. He's floating. The fat man is floating, dude. All right, man. Before we square off, man, let's go through these real quick. We have a couple, as we always do at the end of our shows, just to make sure we're out there pushing conventions and cool shit to do. We got up first. We have the Asbury Park. Yeah.
Asbury Park Tattoo Art Fest, and I will be there tattooing with Eva and Jesse from Bold Magnolia Tattoo.
There you go.
Huge shout out to them, even though Jesse did not show up today.
Truth Addiction just showed up and he was like, "Yo guys, I got a question. Do they have fluorescent ink?"
Nice.
We know he's just joking. All right. So Asbury Park, June 21st through the 23rd, which is 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now, yeah.
And then we have the first annual New York City TatCon, July 26th, 27th, and 28th. We will be there on July 27th.
Absolutely.
Which is a Saturday. Justin and I will be walking around. We'll be passing out some stickers, and make sure if you're there and you see us, you stop and say what's up. Next is Norfolk Tattoo Expo, and that is in October 17th through the 20th. I will be there for...
Buck will definitely be there, and more than likely, I will be there.
And then after that is the Pagoda Tattoo Fest.
Before that's Pagoda.
August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
You said Norfolk's in October?
October, yes. Pagoda's in August.
Right.
Yeah, it's right after the...
right after New York.
Yeah. But, so that's it. Well, not yet, because if RC has something interesting to say, we'll throw it out there before we end this. I'm sure he does. Oh, no. It's my pool stuff, my pool league. Sorry.
Nice.
Sorry.
Nice.
All right, everybody. We want to thank you for stopping out. Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
We can't do this without you guys. Spread the word. Let your friends know. And we will see you all next week. So thank you.
Thank you.